Hockey's officially back with the start of training camp. Let's talk about it.
It's Crosby. Crosby on Trinidad and shots. Penguins win it! Sees part for Crosby to the goal. He scores!
Buckle up, baby. Are you kidding me?
And on Fade, the shot. He scores! Here's Crosby with a burst of speed up the middle. Gets over and scores!
You're a collective.
Andy Kyoto is beating Minamaki's brains in. What a show!
The Penguins training camp started this week, which means hockey is officially back in Pittsburgh. We see Sidney Crosby out on the ice, Marc-Andre Fleury, Chris Letang, and Evgeny Malkin. What is this, 2009? But it is not. It is 2025. We have a lot of things that we're going to talk about. But first, Kyle Dubas did address the media. He talked a little bit about the, obviously offseason moves, things like that. Josh, what's going on? What happened? Did Kyle Dubas say we're going to be competitive or not competitive? And are the people on the ice part of the solution? Go.
Yeah, so Dubas did get in front of the media before the official puck drop, if you will, of training camp.
Nice.
And he brought up I shouldn't say he brought up, but a bunch of different topics were brought to him from the media. Few things just right out the gate. I know reports were out that the Penguins were connected to Carter Hart after the whole legal situation has been resolved and everything with that, especially in terms of our need with goaltender. But Dubas quickly shot that down, saying, no, we have not reached out to Carter Hart or his team in any way. So we can put that to bed in terms of any type of rumors. So that's gone. Rucker McGroarty, our next guy,
Our next pillar in the
next captain. Who
maybe.
knows?
If we don't get
Whatever.
Gavin McKenna, Josh.
Yeah. So I guess let's just call him our top prospect.
Our top
Rucker McGroarty. Okay. Unfortunately, out indefinitely, still recovering from that injury that sidelined him at the end of the year last year. He wasn't able to finish the regular season, therefore he wasn't able to play in the postseason for Wilkes-Barre, and now he's not starting training camp here. So he used the term indefinitely. Who knows what that means? Will it be 2 weeks? Will it be 2 months? Hopefully the shorter time frame for sure. However, he did talk about the youth movement that is coming up. That the young guys are going to get their shot. They are but at the end of the day, they're going to have to earn it. And therefore, the veterans will have to earn their spot as well. That nothing will be given to anyone, that they will have to go out there and take their spot. A follow-up question about that was, will contracts be in play when making those decisions? And he flat out said no, that contracts will not be a consideration on who will earn the spot. And he more so was referencing that in terms of the goaltender position. So he was talking mainly about Silovs. I think he was implying there in terms of his waiver exemption, that even if he is not, the second best goaltender, that he will be, essentially put on waivers. And if he clears, he clears. If not, then best wishes. But he was implying there that the two best goaltenders will get their shot at the NHL level, and regardless of contract positions. So take with that what you will. And then in terms of our future, he did talk quite a bit about being competitive. And he was talking about how it was important to him that he did not put any type of time frame on this on getting back to a competitive level. That he always expressed that it was just that he wanted to do it urgently. And he feels that we are now on the path to being competitive. Now, one can argue that we have always been on the path of becoming competitive, that was, started with the Carlson trade, or you can argue it started with the Gensel trade. However you want to say that we got there, you can argue that we've already been on that path. But there are some fans that are on the other side saying, okay, great, rebuild's over. Now it's just retool from here on out. I don't know. We'll leave that up to you. You let us know what side you want to be on. Are you on the side that we are now retooling from here on out, or that we have always been on the path and the future is going to be the same as it is currently? Speaking of the future being the same as present, the GOAT, Sidney Crosby, was also brought up in terms of his future.
Yeah.
With the Penguins because of his agent's most recent remarks during his media availability. Now, since Crosby's agent's media comments Crosby has made comments saying that he is obviously committed to Pittsburgh, and that's his goal. That he is, as long as Pittsburgh will have him, he wants to be here. So no surprise to anyone here in Pittsburgh that Crosby put those rumors to bed, and
it's almost like he had to do that multiple times.
Yes, which he has.
Yes.
Which he has. And then Dubas, during the press conference, kind of, piggybacked off of what Crosby was saying, that if Crosby is willing to be here, we have every intention of keeping him. And, kind of said that, Pat Brisson is going to say whatever he feels is going to be necessary for his client. And the way he said it was very interesting. It was kind of like he has every right to say whatever he wants to say. Like, essentially, speak freely, I guess.
Yeah.
But someone asked, like, are you in communication with Pat Brisson? And he said daily. But not only because of Crosby, but because he's the agent for most of the NHL. Yeah. So, which is fair, because he realistically is. Like, he's the guy in the NHL.
Yeah.
So,
big time agent.
So I'm hitting a lot of different points here. It was 40 minutes long, but a lot of what we've already known. There's really nothing new. The only thing that I will say that was interesting, everyone, not only from Dubas's press conference, but just from the last comments and availability that the team has had to the media, everyone seems to be really praising Malkin, which I get it that this might be his last year, but talks about great shape, great attitude. He's funnier than ever. He's more willing to speak to everyone. Just seems like if this is it, he's trying to do it right, I think. Mm-hmm. And that's nice to see. And I'm not saying that he's a cold person in any way, shape, or form, but it's just usually he's there because he has to be there.
Sure.
And it just makes it seem like now he's willing to give some more time and, just more willing to be available to everyone. So that's good to see. And then the last thing was that he brought up Marc-Andre Fleury. Talked about how this PTO signing has been in the works for a while. The idea of it has been around since October of last year.
Yeah.
So it's been a full year conversation. And he said that it's going to be imperative for the youth, the young goaltenders, to, pick as much off of them as you can, because how often do you get to work with
Yeah.
a Hall of Fame goaltender, during a training camp session like this? So, no knock on Andy Chiodo, but essentially we have two goaltending coaches right now in Andy Chiodo and Marc-Andre Fleury, and hopefully that's going to pay some dividends for our young goalies. But that is enough of Dubas. That was a lot of Dubas.
A lot of Dubas.
I mean, Dubas likes a lot of Dubas. Just to be be frank. But he talked about the youth movement. I want to talk about the youth movement. I want to talk about guys that we're going to keep an eye out during this training camp / preseason session. I almost said season, but preseason season. Guys we want to keep an eye out for. And the one guy that I want to bring up, Louie, is Avery Hayes. So he's a name that's kind of taken the next step, if you will. Most recently, the young guys in our organization just did a developmental camp in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And Avery Hayes, I shouldn't say shined, but he did very well. And there were a lot of, people who may not know him saying, who is this guy? He's really good. Well, if you watched Wilkes-Barre last year or paid attention to Wilkes-Barre last year, he was one of the top contributors in Wilkes-Barre.
Yes,
I don't know the exact numbers, but he was third on the team in goals and in points. So he was right behind Rucker and right behind Koivunen. He was there. He was the guy. And I shouldn't say the guy, but a guy there. He was an undrafted free agent. So we brought him in, signed him to a contract, and he just outperformed. He did amazing. And now he's taken that next step at the developmental camp, and now I'm looking for him to take another step during this training camp. Louie, who do you have your eyes on during this period?
Yeah, so at first, I'm going to walk you through a little story. Let me guide you through my mind. At first, I wasn't too happy about Arthur Silovs coming over, and then I'm like, oh, I could see him being the starter. I could see him doing that, especially if we get rid of Jari. But then Kyle Dubas in his presser said, it's just a swap, and treated it just like that. It's just a swap. So I'm like, okay, so he's not really high on Arthur Silovs. He's just happy he's here, I guess. He has a lot of hope for Murashov and Blomqvist to be the guys. So that's good. So I was like, all right. Then it's not the goalies. I'm all goalies. This guy, no. It's Koivunen. Koivunen has been practicing with Sid. And if we know anything, that's massive. That is massive for anyone's confidence. And for him to be getting reps with Sid means they want him to play with Sid. And Sid ain't going anywhere on the first line. That's his line. So I think we may see a lot of Koivunen, Raquel, Sid. That would be amazing. Moving Russ down to the second line with Gino. I could see that. I could see Raquel, Sid, Koivunen get a little more speed on the first line. And from some couple moves that we saw in training camp so far from Koivunen, he's ready. He's ready. He's getting the body bigger, bulkier, ready to defend. I'm looking for Koivunen. But Josh, that's not the only thing I noticed. It's not the only thing I noticed. And this is going to be the new segment, Josh. I don't know how we can phrase this new segment. It's things Louie noticed that no one really cares about except Louie segment.
Nice.
Is that what we
I like it? That's
about?
the title. That's perfect.
That's literally what it is.
Yeah.
And Josh, first of all, Sidney Crosby, during a photo shoot, was wearing a matte helmet. Now, your thoughts, a lot of people's thoughts, are saying it's just for the camera flash. Relax. Nothing important. But I'm thinking, no. It's for our unreleased, confirmed, alternate jersey being released before the season starts. Maybe we will have a matte black helmet. Who knows? Secondly, goaltenders are now allowed to wear black pads. That's good to know. The last couple seasons, the organization did not want the goaltenders to be wearing black, mainly pads. Now, Tristan Jarry is wearing black pads. Great. And then last but not least, the ad on the helmet is gone. We now have the Penguin returning to the helmet. So that is great. And
Thank
Josh,
goodness.
these are things that I've noticed that no one really cares about except Louie. Okay? These are things Louie notices that no one really cares about except Louie. There you go. That's the new segment.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to see what the next episode of this segment will entail.
Let's see if I remember the segment first. We want to know what you think. Did you guys watch the Dubas presser? Did you watch training camp? Is there someone that you really like? If there is, put them in the comments down below. We would love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget, you could follow us on all major social media platforms at Pens Collective. And just another reminder, me and Josh go live after every single Penguins regular season game. So make sure you join us. We go live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Make sure you join us. It's going to be a fun season, and we can't wait to see you there. Josh, as always,
let's go Pens.
It's Crosby. Crosby on Trinidad shot. Penguins win it!
Buckle up, baby. Are you kidding me? We're a collective.